Revenge is a simple story. Someone does something wrong and someone else responds. But what I've noticed in my work as a scholar of both contemporary film and the drama of Shakespeare's day is that this simple story has a way of engaging much bigger questions. Questions of who deserves justice and how that justice should be served. In my work, I'm interested in gender and genre. In other words, in the kinds of stories we tell about revenge, and in how who we make those stories' protagonists shapes what we imagine the answers to those big questions might be. Let me give you an example. In the 2017 film 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Frances McDormand plays a grieving mother who takes revenge on the police for failing to solve the sexual assault and murder of her daughter, Angela. She mounts the titular billboards, she hurls Molotov cocktails into the police station, each of her actions querying the inaction of her town's authorities while her daughter's killer remains at large. In my work, I've argued that the film uses the genre of the Western to tell its story of revenge. I like to think of a genre as a template or a cultural script. And as we're all familiar, the cultural script of the Western goes something like this. We're on the frontier, a new sheriff blows into town, lays down the law, saves the girl, and rides off into the sunset. It's precisely by putting Frances McDormand in John Wayne's shoes, if you will, that this film picks up some of the questions of the #MeToo movement, the ongoing movement to change the institutions that enable a culture of sexual harassment and assault. That is, it's by suggesting that the U.S. justice system itself is the wild, wild west that this film asks, what can we do about gender violence? And it's by putting a female revenger into that Western script that it suggests the answer, that justice needs a new face. Now, what kind of future is 3 Billboards asking us to imagine? Well, this is where my work on 16th and 17th century drama comes in. By knowing the kinds of stories that were current in the early modern period, and with the benefit of historical hindsight, I'm able to see stories of revenge in motion and to chart how they engendered political change. Let me give you another example. The 1610 play The Maids tragedy revolves around Evadne, the king's mistress. After years of abuse, she decides to take revenge on the king for his sexual exploitation of her. But when she ties him to their bed and stabs him in the heart 3 times, for herself, her family, and her country, she insinuates that he oppresses not just her, but everyone in the nation he governs. In fact, she names him a tyrant. Now, I've argued that the script this play takes on is that of the popular revenge tragedy. And if you're familiar with Hamlet, you already know how this script usually goes. A son learns of his father's murder, debates taking revenge, decides revenge is the only option because of a government conspiracy, and it all ends in a massive bloodbath. The difference is that Evadne, unlike Hamlet, is empowered to avenge her own violation. And more importantly, she stands in for the people. Her individual grievance represents a collective one. Through the script of revenge tragedy, this play asks, what do we do when our leaders are corrupt and won't give us justice? And through putting a female revenger into that script, this play answers, we take them out so we can try something different. This is in fact what happened in 1649. The English people decided that they had had enough of monarchy, so they chopped off Charles I's head and displayed it on the balcony of Whitehall Palace for all to see. In his place, they instituted a republican government under Oliver Cromwell. Now, I'm not suggesting that 3 Billboards is asking us to chop off the head of the US justice system. Though I do think that the way the film uses gender to shift the cultural script of the Western is asking us to consider something radical. We do need a new sheriff in town, perhaps someone to rebuild these institutions from the ground up. The idea I want to leave you with today is that representations of female revenge across genres in film and TV that we consume on a daily basis, are actively helping us imagine how we might solve the most serious problems facing our society today. Thank you.